I look like I've been sucking on a Smurf's dick. Hi, YouTube. I guess that's my intro. That's what I've done the past 3 times. But, hi. I wanted to record another story time for you guys that is really funny to me. It's one of those big coincidences that I was talking about that has happened throughout my life. It may be like that there's coincidences happen to me, and it may be that I really live in a small, tight-knit part of the world, and like everybody's each other's cousin and shit like that. Like literally at my school, like I can name like 3 of my cousins that were going to school at the same time as me. So, and then like people, like friends I knew, like they had cousins, like several cousins at the school, so like it was insane. Like you had to go and like home if you liked a boy, and you had to like go up to your mom and be like, am I related to so and so, like before that you could like him, because I literally liked a guy, and literally like my mom was like, so and so who? And then I told her, and she was like, that's your cousin. And I was like, shit. It's like, but you know, you have your cousins, and then you have your first cousins, right? So like it's okay, like Mean Girls reference. Anyway, oh my gosh, I'm telling you this, but I'm also like telling my boyfriend this because it's something that I was waiting to tell him, and I just remembered until now. Talking about Mean Girls, I had to go to a training thing for work yesterday, and I got to meet some of the like new hires and stuff, and some of them there were interns. That's really not relevant, but anyway, one of the interns' names there was Anthony. And I seriously almost asked that guy if he had seen Mean Girls, because he was young. He was like younger than me, and I was like, I wanted to be like, have you seen Mean Girls? Did you know what I'm talking about? Anyway, can we talk about my shirt? Stay Weird. I love this shirt. I ordered it online from Hot Topic, and I'm like obsessed with it. So like, of course, I had to put on some blue lipstick to go with it. Like, I don't know if I can do that. No. Okay. I look like I've been sucking on a Smurf's dick. But, anyway. Okay. This person, I don't want to say she was a plague on my life. She wasn't. She was not. Like, this person that I'm talking about was actually a very sweet girl. When I actually met her later in life, like, she is, like, one of the nicest people ever, but at the time for me, and you'll understand when I explain, like, the whole thing, but at the time for me, like, she was the freaking devil. Like, I hated her guts, like, so much. I hated her. Could not stand, like, the thought of her. Like, if somebody said her name, I was just like, really? You had to make me think about her? Like, I don't like her at all. And they'd be like, you would. Like, you would like her if you, like, met her. And I was like, yeah, if under any other circumstances, I might like her. But, like, because of all these things, like, I freaking hate her. But now, like, if she winds up seeing this, like, I do not hate you. I think you're awesome. Like, you're one of the nicest people I've ever met. Like, you're very sweet. Like, keep doing you. You're awesome. Anyway. I gotta come up with a name for her, though, because I don't want to, like, I'm not famous or anything, but, like, in case somebody happens upon this, I don't want them to, like, know her name or anything. Like, you know, I say that all the time, like, where people, like, find out who the person is, and I definitely don't want that to happen. So we're gonna call her, Susie Parker. It has nothing to do with her name, it's just, like, just because, just so she can have a first and a last name, because that's, like, somewhat significant. But anyway, in the last video, I told you about a guy that I dated from 9th grade to 11th grade. So let me see, how much do I have to tell you about that? Like, I was really, really, really into that guy. Like, that was my first love, my first real boyfriend, my first kiss, da-da-da-da-da-da. So he was really big in the church community, and, he got me involved in the youth group and everything. I have lots of stories about that too. Trying to get to the point pretty quickly, but I'm like not sure exactly where to start with the story. So he had mentioned to me that he had dated this girl named Susie Parker, and I don't even know why he brought her up. I really don't. Like, I don't even know what we were talking about at the time. But he was like, oh, I dated this girl, Susie Parker. I want to say that he's told me that he, like, still talked to her on the phone because, like, he talked to several people on the phone, several girls from his past or, like, friends. Just friends. Like, you know how, girls, I'm sure you understand, guys probably do too. But he had several friends that he would talk to, and he would talk to her on the phone a lot because she did not go to our school. She went to a separate school, and they knew each other before he ever met me, and they had dated for a little while, da-da-da-da. He would even, like, go to her church sometimes, and, like, I was really, really stupid. Like, if you listen to any of my stories about this person, like, you will understand, like, I was an idiot regarding all kinds of stuff like that. Because I was very naive, and I trusted people way too much. And, it bit me in the booty. But anyway, that's not the point of this story. The point of this story is, like, the craziness of this whole thing. So, anyway, there was one day, jump ahead, we've been dating for a little while. We had cell phones back then. They weren't as easy to, like, have one as it is now. We were on, like, Go phones. I don't even know if anybody's going to remember what a Go phone is, but it's basically like a prepaid phone that you could go and get from, like, the Dollar General. You could get minutes for it and stuff, which actually I think the one I had, like, you had to go to Walmart. You had to, like, you couldn't get it at Dollar General. Like, you had to, like, pay money and, like, go to Walmart to get it. You know, like, yeah, that's how my life is. But anyway, so I had a little Go phone, and trying to explain it simply, but, like, the way they worked was, like, it would take, like, you would put, just say you would put, like, $25 on it. Every text message you sent would be, like, 33 cents. Every text message you sent and every text message you received would be 33 cents. And it, like, sucked. It was, like, you really needed to, like, be careful with, like, your text messages and stuff. And then, like, phone calls, if you called somebody that had the same kind of phone you did, like, through AT&T, like, the same service, it didn't charge anything. But then, like, certain companies you called, like, it would charge for the phone call. And I don't remember how much per hour or whatever. But I had sent this guy that I was dating, I guess I probably need a name for him. I'll call him Evan. So I had sent Evan, like, several text messages that morning because I sent him, like, one message in the morning, like, hey, it was a Saturday. So it's just like, hey, good morning, I love you, blah, 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 cute little 15-year-old shit that I would say. And he didn't respond, but I was like, whatever, like, he's probably asleep, he might have slept in today, da, 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 da. But then I tried to call his house, and from my house phone, not from my cell phone, I was, like, calling him from my house phone, and, like, his mom was just like, oh, he's, like, not here. I was like, no, wait, I got that wrong. When I called his house phone, nobody answered. So, of course, naturally, I called his cell phone, and he didn't answer. And I was like, okay, that's weird. It's really weird that he wasn't picking up and answering, because this was, like, the middle of the day at this point. So okay, I have this thing, and I've gotten a lot better about it, but, like, my anxiety, I would always, like, if somebody wouldn't answer the phone, it would make me very anxious, because my first thought would be, like, something happened to them, something's wrong, they're in the hospital, they had a wreck, oh my god. This person was very bad about texting and driving, and I had always, like, gotten on to him about that. I was like, oh, he's probably went somewhere, and he's had a freaking wreck, and, like, oh my gosh, and maybe his family's at the hospital, and that's why they're not answering their home telephone, and racing thoughts, you know, like, I was just so upset, and because I kept, and then like also I've gotten better about not doing this, but if somebody wouldn't answer the phone and I was concerned about them, I would just call again and again and again and again. Like if they weren't picking up, like I would just call and call and call and call. That's actually something I've had like learned to stop doing in my adult life because it freaks people out. And I'm freaking out is why I'm doing it, because I just think like, I don't know, it's like I need to call and call and call and call to like get somebody on the phone. So anyway, I called him several times. I don't know how many times it was, but like I called his cell phone like a lot and he never picked up. Then I texted his sister, can you tell me where Evan is? Like I don't know where he is, like I'm freaking out. And then she texted back and she was like, he's fine. But that's all she said. And I was like, well, why won't he pick up the phone? Like why won't he answer me? And she wouldn't text me back. And I tried to call her and she wouldn't pick up her phone. So I was really freaking out at that point, but I was just like, okay, she said he's fine, but like why on earth is he not picking up the phone? Like, is he mad? Did I do something wrong? These are all the things I'm thinking. So, later on in the night, I've been very upset about the whole situation, but I don't even remember what I was doing about it. Probably nothing. I probably just, I mean, I was 15. I was probably like, fucking just watch some cartoons to like chill the fuck out or whatever. So I finally get a phone call like late that night from him, and he was like, hey, and I was like, hey, like, oh my gosh, like, are you okay? And he was like, yeah. I was like, I've been trying to call you like all day. And he was like, yeah, I know you've been trying to call me all day. And I was like, well, why didn't you answer me? And he was like, well, first of all, you called me, I don't remember how many times it was. It was a lot. It was probably like 20 times that I called his cell phone. He had like, probably had like 20 missed calls. He was like, first of all, stalker or whatever. And he was like, no, he was like, I don't even think he said that at that time. I think he explained to me where he was, and then like at the end of the conversation, he was like, when I first saw how many times you called me, like my first thought was like, stalker. And I laughed about it, because I'm a fucking idiot. I should have like ripped him a new one. But anyway, where he was, guess where he was? Just guess where he was. Guess. Take a guess. He went to Susie Parker's birthday party that he told me absolutely nothing about. Yeah, he went to her birthday party, and they were in the pool, and so he had put his cell phone in the house, away from the pool, so nothing would happen to it, is what he said, and, that's why he did not answer me until he got home. So I was upset, of course, but I was like, I told him, like, if you had just told me where you were, it would have been better, because the main thing was, like, I was concerned for your safety. I didn't know where you were. I didn't know what was going on. Like, if you would have just told me from the beginning, I probably wouldn't have been mad. He was like, well, I thought you'd be mad that, like, I was going to her birthday party. I was like, well, yeah, because, yeah, I would have been, but, like, I was more, like, upset that I didn't know where he was, and I thought he was hurt. So we got past that. I was like, okay, I forgive you for that. Like, just don't ever do that to me again. I don't care where you are. Just, like, tell me where you are, like, so I don't freak out. So we got through that. Then, maybe 3 days later, I went to his house to stay the weekend and go to church or whatever with them. And he was upset, like, on the way home from church, like, to his house. He was, like, really upset. Like, he was, like, something was obviously wrong. And I was just like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's going on? And, he wouldn't tell me. He was like, I'll tell you when we get home. I'll tell you when we get home. So we get home, and he takes me in his room, and he starts, like, sobbing. And I was like, what? Like, what? Like, what did I do? What's going on? Like, I thought he was about to break up with me. So, of course, I was freaking the fuck out. I was like, what? Like, what is wrong with you? And he was like, we rode around, and we went back to her house, and when I dropped her off, we were almost to her house, and she said, pull over. And he said, I honestly thought that she needed to throw up or something, because the way she said it was just like, pull over. And so I pulled over, and then, all of a sudden she was kissing me. And he said, and I let her do it because it was her choice. Like, Direct quote. I let her do it because it was her choice. I was like, well, did you kiss her back? And he was like, no, she kissed me, and I was like, whoa, I told you I had a girlfriend. And so he said they had a conversation about it. He took her back home. That was the end of that. And he didn't tell me about it until 3 days later because he didn't want me to break up with him, and he knew that I would be upset, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So, of course, my stupid ass was like, I forgive you, like, stop crying, like, it's okay, like, because I don't know if it was genuine or not. It could have been. I don't know. The boy was 15 years old. I have no idea, but, like, it could have all been, like, a ploy or what. I don't know. I don't think he was being manipulative. I think he was just fucking stupid. But anyway, I forgave him. And, you know, to me at the time, he looked like he was in extreme emotional pain. So I was just like, just stop crying. Like, I forgive you. I'm not breaking up with you. Like, we'll work on this. Like, it's okay. Anyway, so I forgave him for that. We continued to date or whatever. So, okay, fast forward until after we broke up. Yeah. We had broke up. It was going to be our junior prom. I was, like, not wanting to go to my prom because, well, I think at first I did want to go. At first I wanted to go, and I was just going to go with some of my friends, and, like, I was still going to have a fun time. I was thinking about, like, how I was going to be able to get a dress because I was very poor. Like, I didn't know how I was going to be able to buy a dress. My aunt had offered to make me one, but she told me I needed to make up my mind soon because she was only going to have, like, a limited amount of time to make me a dress. Like, she needed enough time to, like, make it with her. So, I'm thinking I'm probably going to go or whatever. I don't really know who I'm going to go with. I was thinking about, you know, just, like, asking somebody. But, you know, like I said, I was undecided. That was the point. This person, I used to ride with him on the bus to Votech. Quick summary if you don't know what Votech is. It's like a course that you can do while you're in high school. That's some kind of trade, and mine was business computer technology. We were in the same class. Me and the guy that I broke up with, Evan. And, so we would ride the bus together. We were still friends after we broke up, so, like, we would ride on the same seat together at some, you know, sometimes just depending on, like, I don't know, different factors, like if he wanted to, like, sit with me, or sometimes he would sit with his other friend. But anyway, he was like, I'm wanting to ask this girl out to prom, and I'm trying to think of, like, a big way to do it. Like, do you think you could, like, maybe help me come up with, like, a poem to write for her? And I think the first time that he mentioned that was not on the bus. I think the first time he said that to me was, like, in a text message or something like that. Because then, I'm trying to remember, it's, like, kind of foggy, like, the memory of exactly how it went down. But I know, like, what went down, so I'll try to get to the point. So, okay, the way that this guy asked me out in the 9th grade was, he said, we were passing notes back and forth, and he said, I liked somebody. And I was like, oh, like, who do you like? Because we were friends at that point. I was like, oh, like, who do you like? Well, I can't tell you. And so I was like, okay. And in the back of my mind, I was like, I think he likes me, but, like, my self-confidence was, like, my self-confidence is probably, like, right here today, and then my self-confidence back then was, like, here, like, down, like, probably, like, under this floor, like, down in the dirt, possibly close to the center of the earth. Like, that's where my self-esteem was at that point in time. So I was like, you can't possibly like me. I'm, like, so ugly. Like, ew, like, you can never date me. So, like, it's got to be one of these other girls. And I was like, he was like, well, guess who it is? And so I was like, well, give me a hint. He was like, she has brown hair. I had brown hair at the time. It's like, she has brown hair and she's in this class. And I was like, well, there's several girls that have brown hair in that class. And I started, like, guessing other girls. I was like, is it this girl? And he was like, no. I was like, is it this girl? And he's like, no. I was like, well, the only other people that have brown hair is, or the only other, I was like, the only other girl that has brown hair in that class is me. And he was like, you got it. So, like, he liked me. That's how we wound up going out. And I got that, of course, I got that note back. And I was just like, he confirmed it. He really does love me. Oh, my God. But anyway, so jump forward to we had broken up, and then he's telling me that he wants to ask a girl out to prom. Can I help him write this poem? I thought he was going to ask me back out. I thought he was going to ask me back out, and he was going to take me to prom, and it was going to be like a fairy tale, and we were going to show up, and birds were going to be chirping, and like they would make my prom suit. And that they would make my prom dress, and little mice would like sew my dress up, and then like I would go to the prom and I would be freaking Cinderella, and you know, he would be my Prince Charming, and we would be back together, and the whole school would be like, oh my God, like you guys are back together, oh my God, surprise. And we would like keep it a secret, and that would happen. And so that's what I thought was gonna happen. So I get on the bus, and he's like, help me write this poem. And he was like, well, I want to write about how we got together the first time and everything. And I was like, something like that. And I was like, so how did y'all get together the first time? And I thought he was about to be like, oh, well, I was writing her a note. Like, I literally thought those words were about to come out of his mouth. And he goes, oh, well, I picked her up to go to church or something. I don't remember how he fucking met her. But anyway, it wasn't like us. So I was like, so who's the girl that you're taking to prom? And he goes, Susie Parker. Like, I was crushed. Oh my God. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I can help you. I was just like, yeah, I said I would, but like, I don't feel like it. I'm sorry. And I was literally like over there. I was leaned up against the window of the bus, just like looking out, like sad music was playing in the background, and I was just like fucking devastated. And he was just looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, it was supposed to be me in a fairy tale, and like all this was supposed to happen, and it didn't. And it was so sad, and my little heart was so broken. But anyway, fast forward. Again, I am at community college. And, okay, hadn't been there long. This was my first year. I had to take Algebra 1, I think, something like, I don't remember. It's like Algebra something. College Algebra. It was called College Algebra. So, get my math class, I'm like set up, I'm like, okay, like I'm trying to meet new people, this is like a new start for me, like to make more friends, and da 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 da. So this boy sits down in front of me, and he has like the prettiest hair I've ever seen. It's like, it's brown, but it's blonde, and it's curly, and he also has a really nice face, like he's tan, and he's just, he's very good looking, like, I mean, he's really, really cute. And so he turns around and he introduces himself to me. He doesn't really have to have a name. He'll just be like curly hair guy. Anyway, like, he introduces himself to me. I actually don't even remember his name, honestly. I honestly don't remember the guy's name. So he introduces himself to me, and I was like, oh, like, okay, like, cool, like, he's my friend now, or whatever, like, this is awesome. So I, like, would, literally, like, I was, like, on Mean Girls, you know, like, when, the guy is sitting in front of her, and he was like, oh, like, today he asked me what day it was. Like, that was exactly the scenario that was going on with me and this guy that sat in front of me in the college algebra class. Like, I thought he was so cute. And I remember, like, I don't remember if he gave me a lollipop or I gave him a lollipop or something like that. Like, I had candy and I gave him, or he had candy and gave me. I don't remember which one it was. So, like, he just, like, I remember, like, him just, like, sucking on this lollipop and, like, turned around, like, talking to me, like, before class starts, and, like, just getting to know me and being really nice and everything. So I kind of thought he was into me. I didn't know, but I kind of thought maybe he was. And so we kind of had this thing going of like we would talk in class. So I added him on Facebook. And did I do that first? I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I think I added him on Facebook because I remember having a conversation with him the day it snowed at the college. It was like something about like, do you want to hang out? And he was like, oh, like, well, he kind of blew me off, but not really, because he was like, oh, so and so and so and so, like these two girls are like building a snowman. If you want to like come over here, because I wanted him to like come to where I was, and he was like, oh, like you could come over here, and I was like, no, I don't want to hang out with you and two other really pretty girls, thanks. But so I was like, nah, like I'm good or whatever. Then I get on Facebook one night and I see that he has a girlfriend and he's uploaded a picture of them two together. And so I was crushed. I'm like, oh man, shoot, like he's dating somebody, like he met somebody or whatever, like, because I really thought he was cute and like we might date. But guess who he was dating? Just take a guess. Just maybe guess who the hell it was. It was Susie fucking Parker. Okay, Susie fucking Parker. Not only did she cheat with my boyfriend when we were dating, and then she freaking took him back after we broke up and took him to my prom. But then she had to take curly-haired guy away from me as well. She was not satisfied. I hated her. I hated her fucking guts. I hated her so much. I could even stand it. Why? Why have you been such a plague on my life? I don't understand. I never did anything to you, Susie Parker. I never did anything. I swear to God. I don't understand. Oh my God. Oh my God. But yes, like I live in a very small part of the world, and I guess it was just coincidence that this same girl took two of the guys that I like a lot. She didn't steal my boyfriend away like the first guy, but she was just kind of waiting in the wings whenever we broke up, and she like jumped in as soon as she had the opportunity, as soon as we weren't a thing anymore, and she took him to my prom that I wound up not going to because I did not want to see them together at my prom and just fucking cry all night. So like I decided to not even go to my own junior prom, and yeah. But I met that girl the year after that, and I don't even think she was dating that guy anymore. And she was really nice to me. I don't know if she knew who I was. I think she probably did know who I was because of like Facebook or whatever. I think she knew who I was and everything, but she was very nice to me, and she's a very, very sweet person, and she is actually married to Evan now. They actually wound up getting married years later after we weren't even at the community college anymore. Maybe I think they got married like a year ago. But she is married to like Evan now, like, so I don't know what happened with her and curly haired guy, but it obviously didn't work out. What the fuck? Like, that's just insane to me that this one girl like kept being like, you know, that to me, and she was like I said, she's a great person, but like at the time I fucking hated her guts because of like what I've just explained to you. And like people will be like, why don't you like her? Like, she's so nice. I'm like, yeah, but she like fucking ruins everything for me. So that was my story, and I thought that one was pretty good and pretty funny, and it had, you know, like a pretty good conclusion and everything, and like you can all like probably sympathize with a story like that of like, you know, your dreams just being like crushed and like ruined. And so There it is. I've reached the 30-minute mark again. I guess all my videos are going to be like 30 minutes long, and I'm sorry for that, but maybe you like that. I hope you do. I really like telling stories like this. I think they're fun. I'm going to try to like put more little ideas in my notebook and like try to come up with more video ideas for you guys. And so if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to comment on this video, go ahead. You know, it's fine. Whatever you want to say, however you want to comment. I'd love to read those. Like, that'd be fun. I'm mostly doing this as just like a hobby. I have a full-time job. I go to school full-time. My plan is to upload these on Wednesdays every week, if possible. But, please, if you like this channel, please subscribe to it. Subscribe to mine and my boyfriend's gaming channel, Gaming with D&T. Me and my boyfriend have a podcast that we try to be consistent with, but we haven't been in the past. We're trying to get better. We have about 3 episodes up right now. It's called D&T Podcast, and it's up on like Castbox, Podbean, different stuff that you can find a podcast on. Like just Google us, and I'm sure you'll be able to find it. So yeah, that's it. This was my story. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again.